Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. This afternoon's review, we are going to take a look at Halo 5 Guardians Fred 104 figures. So to accompany Fred 104, we have Admiral Keys and John 117. So just in case that you want to display your Spartans with a commanding officer, so this is what your display would possibly look like. So let's compare the action figures that we have on hand. So for dimensions as to heights of the figure, so this is an Halo 4 action figure, that is a Halo 5 action figure. So the commanding officer, Admiral Keys, would be around the 4.5-inch mark. Hey, John 117 or Halo 4, Halo 5 action figure John 117 would be around the 5.25. Same thing with the Halo 5 Fred 104 figure. For the review of this Master Chief action figure or John 117 action figure, just head out to my playlist. Under the Halo playlist, you're going to find the review of this guy. So let us proceed with Fred 104. Let's do a quick 360 view of this action figure. Actually, this came out of my storage, so I just really tried to find this specific figure, and I'm just glad to find it for this afternoon's review. So this action figure has already been modded, so it is no longer a stock version, but I did not tinker with the joint system just like I did with the back figure. But this Fred 104 is I just added some bits and pieces of accessories to somehow spicing up the mold, but this is practically a good figure to go. So it looks good, and actually it really plays good. So the articulation points are really nice, which I'm going to show later. So it's a 5.25-inch action figure, just as I mentioned earlier. And now let's take a closer look. So let's take the accessories out first, so we could marvel somehow at the articulation points that an old figure would give us. So for the head area, even if we have a really thick hindrance on the shoulder blades, actually because of the really bulbous or thick body armor or chest plate for this figure, and a really beefy helmet or a protective helmet for this Fred 104, actually articulation points are okay. So looking left and right, it's not a problem. The head motions for the head tilts looking up actually is quite limited, but you could subject the joint, take off some material using a X-Acto knife, and improve the head tilts on this figure. But for the head tilts looking down, actually that is already okay. So it's just going to be the head tilts looking up, but for the looking down, that's okay. So no problem with the head area. As for the arms, so the arms could rotate well, could raise up to this degree, of course, because we have quite an hindrance for the shoulder armor. But for the other arm, actually this could this could be raised a little bit, or about 1 degree more than the left arm, because of this piece. But actually this accent piece for the shoulder armor really still adds a little bit of beauty to this action figure. So for articulation on the elbows, that is a single point of articulation or bend, and that is how much bend that we have for the elbows. And actually we still have rotation on the elbows. We also, the hands is on a hinge, and they also have rotation. So for the abdomen area, we don't have any cut on the waistline for rotational movement. All of the articulation point for the body of this figure is centered on the diaphragm area. So this is we have a ball. So especially if you want to take this figure apart and improve it, just dunk it in hot water and you'll discover how this figure articulates. So we have a ball underneath this chest area. So actually it's really okay. So not a problem even if we don't have a cut on the waistline for rotational movement. And this is one of the Mcfarlane produced Halo 5 action figures that has good articulation on the leg, because so far this is the figure that could really do this, aside from of course the Master Chief. So for the knees, we have a single bend, and for the foot we have rotation, and actually we also have a hinge there, and we have toe articulation. So what I like also with this action figure, even if we have a very bulbous body armor or front chest plate, is this action figure right out of the box could cradle a weapon. So unlike the back action figure, which can't do this, so you know that this Fred 104 figure could handle a rifle of any type. And even if we have only a single point of articulation for the elbows, non-double jointed, it still could hold a decent rifle shooting stance. Okay, so let's go to the details of this action figure, because this is a really finely detailed action figure. So when you take a look up close, even on the of course this is going to be the one with the plates, would be the heaviest set armor piece for this figure. But underneath these blue pieces we have a chainmail like suit for the Fred 104 Spartan. So really nice touch. So the chainmail actually is still painted light blue, same as the color of the armor. Now for accents of this figure, this is what I really like about this figure too, because of the combination of the gray, the light blue, and the golden yellow parts. So for the visor and for the other parts on the action figure, which are painted yellow or nice glossy yellow or gold, the finish is really nice. And take a look at all of the details on this action figure. So if you have a Gundam marker just like this, you could still improve the look of this action figure by painting on those panel lines. So that's the reason why that I also purchased the Gundam marker, so I could really improve my Halo collection this time that I'm into YouTube. So I could also share it to you guys, the things that I do, my project for my old collection. So does that mean that it is all that is this already junky? Actually, some action figures that were produced or were sold before actually are more cooler than the ones that we are receiving right now or are being sold to us at a more pricier item. I remember purchasing this guy around the $15 mark out of the door. So especially on clearance at Target. So I have my second copy of this action figure and it is still sealed in box, and I purchased it for clearance at something about $5 or $6. Yeah, so that's the reason why I could play around with my other copy. So actually the area around the waist is quite the thinnest of all of the areas or sections in this action figure. That's the reason why I placed some grenades on the waistline to add a little bit of bulk to the figure, because without these pieces over here, these 6 grenades, actually the waistline would look really thin. So look at the side profile on that. So that's the reason why I added a little bit of accessory pieces to the side. So we have this figure doesn't come or attached to with ammo pouches. So these ammo pouches, I think I got it from another Spartan. So I have an accessory bin for my Mcfarlane produced Spartan figures. So I have one of these ready to deploy just in case I want to spice up one of my figures. So the pegs for the weapons actually are too low too, so they are bordering on the level of the knee. So I had to take out my drill and drill a hole near the hip line. So when you take the magnum and attach it or to the side of the figure, actually this looks better than being placed over here. So that is the placement of the rifle right now. So somehow it's in line with the ammunition pouches and the grenades. So the last item that we have would be the DMR or the rifle for this figure. Actually, this is not the rifle that came with this action figure. It came with another DMR with a handguard of some sort, but somehow that is a very problematic piece, and this is more quite stable and harder than that rifle. So this is the rifle that I assigned to this Fred 104 figure. So we are now ready for the photos and the video shots, and if you like this review, like, comment and subscribe, and see you on the next Halo action figure review.